Right, just starting a live for anybody that's watching back later. Let's just see who's gonna join us. We're just starting a live. How's it going? The topic is those who were seen dancing. Everyone, some of you guys might have heard this quote before. Friedrich Nietzsche. Those who were seen dancing were thought to be insane by those who could not hear the music. Everything is rhythm and vibration. I'm always talking about this. If anyone's new to me, hello. Master Kambo at your service. So, I bring Qigong together with Hermetic principles, rhythm vibration being one of those, okay? Or two of those. Polarities, rhythm, vibration, all 7 Hermetic principles, right? So, if anybody's not familiar with Hermetism, Hermes Trismegistus is linked to Thoth. Do your research. I'm not going to talk about that. I've talked about that 1,000 times on these lives before. Over the hundreds and hundreds of lives I've done over the last 2 years. So I've done a whole series about the Hermetic principles. So anyway, there's 7 of them. But you got to bring them all together and you got to live with them. Okay? Concepts to be lived with. I always say this phrase, the truth is high, whatever truth you discover, but truthful living is higher still. Okay, and this came from that book that I've had in my hands for over 30 years, that I've told a story about a number of times, the opening of The Third Eye by Dr. Douglas Baker, but it was my dad's book, so when he passed away he left that book behind and he wrote these words at the back: the truth is high, higher still is truthful living. And this is that book. So I've been reading about, well, not just reading about opening the third eye, but this was my introduction to it when I was 15 years old. Okay, this book came into my hands, but obviously my dad's had it longer. I was born in 78. This book was written in 77. Truth is high, higher still is truthful living. So, funny enough, my dad's name was Satnam, which actually translates to truth. So, there's no such thing as coincidences. And actually, that's what I want to talk about. Rhythm, vibration. There's a flow. There's a natural flow to everything. Alright? Now, you're in the ocean, but it's like a surfer. I like to use metaphors. Right? You're like a surfer. You're in the ocean. That's life. You're in it. You've been thrown in to the deep end. Okay? Now, sometimes the waves are rough. Sometimes it's quite a smooth ride. But there's waves. But here's the thing. To really enjoy life, so that it's not just a miserable sort of just mulling along, okay? You got to ride these waves. And they're available to everyone because everyone's in the same fucking ocean. It's just a matter of, are you taking those opportunities? Are you riding those waves? So there's a rhythm to everything, This is why the Taoist philosophy really gelled with me. Because it's all about the Tao. And the Tao, the way I understand it, even though they say it can't be explained, but there is a way to the Tao. And the way of the Tao is the way of the universe and nature. And we, being a part of nature, can get in flow with that. Just like the seasons, the sunrise, the moon cycles. These kind of things are all things that we can tune into. I always say the spring and summer is the yang period. This is a season where the world comes alive, right? The spring, everything springs to life, and in autumn, fall, everything starts to die. So that's the yin period. Everything goes back. Okay, winter. So that's called the yin period. So the best time to start shit, get stuff started, is spring. You want to spring something alive, bring it alive in spring. Okay, there's a lot of this is just common sense. You only got to just watch nature. It's probably better to just watch nature for a few days and just put your fucking books down. It will teach you more than anything else because you are a part of it. Okay, so you might as well just learn from the experience, Just take a few moments to really understand what the fuck is going on, right? Because, I spoke about this in my last live yesterday. Even your 5 senses, this is how most well, all human beings experience the world through the five senses. Of course, we talk about the third eye and activating that, and other clairvoyancy, clear audience, so that these are psychic abilities open up, right, with the third eye. But five senses, in its most basic sense, is just an electrical impulse. Okay, taste, smell doesn't actually, your burger doesn't go into your fucking brain, right? It's even sound, right? Like, people are missing just like simple shit, like what the fuck is actually going on, right? I'm listening to sound from my speaker. There's not a band inside my speaker playing the fucking drums, right? So what the fuck is going on, right? How the hell are you guys seeing me from all around the world right now, instantaneously? And I want to just take some moment just to understand what the fuck is actually happening. They're using this technology all day long. And I'll talk about just like, sort of understanding the basics of things that are already here, like, not fucking rocket science, right? Things you probably learned about at school and stuff. Just taking a moment to understand, like every atom, every cell, like, right, how it's all made up, right? Protons, the electronic charge, right? Basics. Should just take it back to fucking simplicity. Everyone's getting way out there, all this fucking complicated shit. Just take it back to simple shit again, right? The electromagnetic spectrum, everything's on that. Radio waves, Wi-Fi, okay? What they were called unknown fields as well, right? X-rays, right? Visible, what we experience here. But, taste, smell doesn't even, the smell, what, you smell some roses. How does your mind know? You just smell roses. The rose doesn't go into your brain, okay? This is just like, how is it all working, right? So this is just, as human beings, you should know. I always talk about this shit. Like, some of my friends are just like, who gives a fuck, right? It don't matter, but at least how your car works, your computer works. How your mobile phone works better than you fucking work. It's crazy. Breathing, we do it all day long unconsciously. It keeps us alive. Without it, you're fucking dead. So clearly it's important, right? So, I just look at the obvious, right? Okay, without breath, I'm dead. Okay, I better fucking get into breathing exercises. I better learn that craft, right? Because that seems to be important, right? This ain't no airy-fairy shit, right? This is all obvious stuff. Just look at the obvious. Rhythm, vibration, right? Your breath has a rhythm vibration. Life has a rhythm vibration. You can breathe slowly. You can breathe quickly. You can talk quickly. You can move. You can talk slowly. You can bring the pace down. Who's in control of this rhythm vibration that you are vibrating at? You. Of course. But we leave a lot of it to the unconscious. But you train the unconscious mind, right? And you get in flow with the unconscious mind. This is what, being super conscious is all about. Higher consciousness is all about. Build that bridge between conscious, menu thinking mind, choice making mind, and your unconscious mind, because that's where the power's at. Unconscious, Wu Wei, I could talk about in Qigong, Wu Wei state, right? Just let go, flow, right? So rhythm vibration is all about that. Like when you listen to music, so, for me, it's, why do I use music, right? Well, firstly, I started martial arts when I was 7 years old, but I really, really seriously, when I started Wing Chun Kung Fu when I was 14 years old. So I started with karate, then boxing, right? But I always loved the music. So by the time I was 14 years old, I used to go to the youth center where I used to practice some boxing at that time and other sports like football, squash, table tennis, or you just play games, right? Just stay active, right, as kids. But there's a guy who used to work there, okay, and he was a DJ. He was a techno DJ. So he brought for a session just to, keep us kids, because we grew up in a rough area, so like to keep us kids busy, like some of our parents would take to us to these places so that we could keep ourselves busy, keep up off the streets and stuff, right? So what I used to do was take part in these activities, right? So And one of the times it was he brought his decks in, okay, and he taught me and another friend how to DJ. Okay, it was techno music at that time. So I was 14 years old. So I started learning Wing Chun Kung Fu and DJing around about the same time. By the time I was 16 years old, I was already playing in pubs. I already started my own first business as a DJ, right? Playing in pubs and clubs and bars. And, you know, when I was at university, I was playing in some big clubs with thousands of people there. So, you know, that all stopped when I got into working, okay? But I carried on, you know, doing some events here and there, the odd festival, nothing, you know, it wasn't really my main thing. So Wing Chun Kung Fu, I became an instructor. So I carried that on until, again, work, business started to take over. So this is a part of my journey, right? So, you know, I always say you have to express who you are, right? So some people don't understand why is my Qigong like so fucking weird, okay? Because I've done Qigong, okay? And not just Qigong, I've done many martial arts, right? Krav Maga, boxing, Wing Chun Kung Fu. So this all forms a part of who I am. So when it comes to art, you're supposed to express who you are, okay? Not somebody else, right? So like Bruce Lee, he learned the same style, Wing Chun Kung Fu. He started Jeet Kune Do afterwards, right? Now, in the same way, like with Bruce Lee starting Wing Chun Kung Fu and other arts, like he studied Kempo and stuff, karate, he brought it all together and created his own style called Jeet Kune Do. At some point, every really, all martial arts do that. I mean, they're doing that in MMA right now. What is MMA? Mixed martial arts. It's people that have studied many different martial arts and put it all together. So, you know, it's the same thing. It's just, it's Qigong and other things that I've studied, right? Okay, so yogic philosophy comes into it. So the Ida Nadi Pingala Nadi. I've had the Kundalini awakening in 2015. So I know all about that. I understand the Kundalini. I understand the Nadis. I understand the Qigong system. I understand the chakric system. So it's all going to come a part of it, right? The Hermetic principles, right? So this all comes into it. You know, this what I'm trying to get at is who you are is who you are. Like you're not gonna be you know, even on my students, I always say I don't want clones of me. You've got your own journey. You've learned stuff I don't know. There's stuff that you are supposed to bring to the table whilst you're here during this time, right? Co-creators. You're supposed to be unique. You're supposed to be different. Be beautiful. Be unique, right? Be different. You're supposed to be. So, you know, so the message today, those of us seen dancing, that quote, those of us seen dancing, were thought to be insane by those that could not hear the music, right? So there is a music being played, and I like to think of it as metaphors all the time, right? Metaphors, you just take them as they gel with you. I love metaphors. Most teachers, good teachers, masters that I've trained under use metaphors all the time, and I believe they work really well because, you know, I've said it before, we're just in one ocean, we're all waves in an ocean. Connect with the ocean, you know? Remember who the fuck you are again, right? Remember that we're all connected in that one ocean, one love separated into many hearts, one pure consciousness separated into many different brains. Okay, it's all connected, it's all one part of one universal intelligence, right? That divine intelligence is connected to everyone. So tapping into it is your birthright. You're born with that. So it's not meant to be difficult. Most of it is just fucking getting out of the way, right? The rhythm is already there. Get in flow with it. As I said, you've already been chucked into the ocean, right? But there's a rhythm to it. Find that rhythm, right? Intuition, inspiration, in spirit. You're in spirit when you're inspired. Intuition means you're being taught from within. By who? Find that source that guides you, your higher self, God, divine intelligence, whatever you want to call it. But without a doubt, you know, there is guidance. And, you know, you can take the wrong path, you can take the right path. And it's okay if you take the wrong path because you're meant to take it to find out it was wrong. You know, so there is a rhythm to it all. But try to find your rhythm, you know, not somebody else's rhythm. Find out who you are. And that really isn't, you know, it's not even about finding yourself. Because you already are who you are. You don't have to find yourself because you are you. right? It's not finding yourself. It's just remembering who the fuck you are not. What's left? What's left? That's what's most important. When you realize what you are not, there's going to be something left. So life, this journey is all really, a lot of it is finding out, I'm not that, I'm not that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to say that. I don't want to be that. It's totally fine. That's how we learn, man. That's how true wisdom is born, through the lessons. Okay? So take that journey. But remember, you know, the more aware you are, the more expanded awareness you get into. This is what I teach about being here, present, fully present, right now. Right? Your mind will swing past, future. Past doesn't exist. It's just a memory. Show it to me. Where is it? Try to pull it out on your hand and look at it. Whatever it is that's bugging you from the past. You can't, because it doesn't exist. It only exists as a memory. Your future, just imagination. That's completely in your hands. Okay? But what happens? Anxiety, fear, doubt takes over. And people have practical worries and impractical worries. And they turn molehills into mountains, right? There's nothing to be worried about, yet you worry about something that's not worth worrying about so much that you worry about it. Turning a molehill into a mountain. This is just dysfunctional, habitual ways of thinking, right? This can all be very much corrected just by taking control, right? So we have to bring conscious connection to the unconscious mind. What is happening on an unconscious level, okay, that we're missing, because it's on, the unconscious mind is on autopilot, right? It's pretty much running the show. You know, most of your day, you're not making those choices. You make a few choices here and there. Okay, what do I want? Chicken or fish, or, you know, do I want some vegetables with that, right? You know, I'm going to go to the shop. You don't sit there and think about, okay, you know, but most of this is already embedded in your mind. You've trained yourself how to do the driving, to do the walking, to do the talking. You know, that's why a lot of people just say stuff without even thinking. Okay, I'm not thinking now, right? Where does it come from? That's unconscious mind. Okay, so it is thinking. Okay, it's called fast thinking. So there's slow thinking, fast thinking. Okay, there's a book called Slow Thinking, Fast Thinking by Daniel Kahneman, something like that. Slow thinking, fast thinking. I read that quite a while back. So yeah, you have fast thinking and slow thinking. Okay, but your fast thinking mind, you know, is making about 35,000 choices per day. You're not involved with most of those choices being made. So this is why you have to go to the source, the energy. What's creating these unconscious thoughts, these unconscious patterns? Break those patterns. You know, this is why I bring neuro-linguistic programming into what I do. Because it has to be, right? I'm certified in that modality, NLP, timeline therapy. They're very good. Okay? So as I've said, I'm going to bring whatever I've been through, studied, learnt, practiced into whatever I do. Okay? So whatever your rhythm is, flow with it. You know, I bring music into it, right? You know, how did it start? KAMOTiON QiGOng, right? Well, I was DJing, I was doing martial arts at the same time. You know, I've been doing Wing Chun Kung Fu, breathing exercises. So, you know, there was a time where I would do, you know, and we do this in the KAMOTiON QiGOng classes. We do breathing, moving exercises without any music, okay? So we could, you know, just for example, I'll have one hand, the yin hand on my lower dantian, one hand on the middle dantian. And I will do this technique very slowly. We have a few stances that I teach in KAMOTiON QiGOng. Two main stances, and you know, just for example, this one is connecting the 3D physical body with the energetic body. So the yang hand goes on top, and with this I could do this without music. The idea is to just do it slowly, okay, just to control that rhythm and pace and activate the parasympathetic nervous system. That's what helps you relax and feels calm. Okay, now if we do it more intense, we can activate more energy. Okay, so I do breathe. You can change the rhythm. So rhythm, vibration, right? So this is a very simple thing, right? People can breathe, okay, but you can change the rhythm, vibration, intensity. You can breathe in through the nostrils. I can breathe in with the hands coming in. Okay, same technique. I teach all of this in KAMOTiON QiGONG Mastery Commune properly. Okay, we do the practice every Tuesday and Thursday. So if you're interested, check it out. There's a link tree in my bio, top link. There's a 1 week free trial. So I can do this. Breathe in with the hands coming out. And this is just one technique. I mean, there's many techniques I'll share. Okay. I can do this with the hands here. I can do this with the breathing through the mouth. That's more energizing. So it depends on what you need. Okay, you got to know what you want, right? Before you go shopping, right? You know when you do energy work, the way that I teach it is very practical. You got to know what you want to get out of the practice, because it might just be 10 breaths to give you exactly what you want. You might be stressed. Okay, want to activate the parasympathetic system. It's 10 breath technique that I teach to do that very simply, right? You want to get energized, you need to get shit done, and you don't feel motivated, okay? There's a technique for that. So you got to have the right toolbox, okay? That's what I do. I just provide people a toolbox with loads of different techniques, and it's available to you whenever you want. You don't have to rely on another therapist, someone else. It's just in your toolbox. I give people the tools that I use that work, explain why they work, how they work. That's it. That's all you really need to know for anything, right? So, with KAMOTiON QiGOng, the moving meditation, you can do it just simply like that. That's one technique. Of course, you really should join the classes if you want to really get into the practice. I mean, there's a few videos and reels on my Instagram, which I'm sure you can learn from. But, I do bring rhythm and vibration into this, in the sense that, there is firstly the pace and rhythm of your breathing. You can slow it down to get into more of a yin state. And yin state is a divine feminine, think of that as soft energy. Yang is hard energy. It's expressive. Yang is a divine masculine energy, right? So that's related to the sun. The moon is related to the yin, feminine energy. Yang energy is the sun. So we use this. This is called celestial qi and qigong in the KAMOTiON QiGOng system that I teach. Okay. So there's terrestrial qi. There's earthly qi, aka earthly qi. There's heavenly qi or celestial qi. Okay, that's what it's known as in Taoist alchemy typically. So I applied these concepts, right, all in the KAMOTiON QiGOng system. But how did the thing with the music start? Well, basically I was DJing and I just started to do my breath work. So I DJ all the time. I play music, I mix music, and I just had music on, and I just started one day doing my breath work whilst the music was on. So, I suppose give you an example of what it might go like. So, alright, so just got some music on, right? And I might just be vibing to the music, and then all of a sudden, there's a rhythm. Right? So I just started breathing with the rhythm. That's it, and when I was DJing back in the day, I always used to move with the music. When you DJ, you listen to music, you don't just hear it, right? You feel it, right? So there's a rhythm, vibration. You don't just hear music, you feel it, right? So you feel it on an energetic level. So it made sense for me to bring music in to my qigong, because it's all about energy, right? So just breathe it. And it gives me joy. Make it fun, man. I realize if I'm going to be doing shit every day, it's got to be enjoyable, right? I've done a lot of breath work, meditation stuff before. I mean, to be honest, when you're practicing and you're learning under someone, you do it the way that's taught. But you will get to some point where you're going to say, okay, I want to do this my way. And you change it. And that's totally fine once you've got the foundational principles right. Okay, don't forget I done Qigong, Tai Chi in traditional forms, Wing Chun, Kung Fu, all of this in traditional forms, okay? Picked up a lot of things over like a 30-year journey and put it all together. So it doesn't happen overnight, but it is an art. That's what a martial art is, okay? So you bring things together that express who you are. That's where the true joy is. That's where the true joy in life is. Not just in your martial art. In life, expressing who you are, not somebody else. Okay? I learned from Sifu James Sinclair in Wing Chun Kung Fu, right? Chun Li in Spring Forest Qigong. I'll do a Mantak Jia, right? So there's lots of teachers, right, that I can think of that I've had over years, right? Also, right? Stuart Wilde, okay? So there's lots of teachers, gurus. So you got to have them on the way, but you're not learning from them to become them. You're trying to get the knowledge and the wisdom that they have so you can apply it to you. So this is what I always say, people, like when it comes to the movement stuff, there's foundational concepts, there's a framework to everything that I do and teach in KAMOTiON QiGOng, and it's all based upon traditional Qigong. A lot of, adding the music on top is a layer, it's a cosmetic layer more than anything else, okay? But the music does make a difference because there's a rhythm vibration. It provides a framework to provide, to flow within. So I was talking about, the way of the universe. There's a way, there's a rhythm, okay? Music has a rhythm. It doesn't matter what music you put on. There's going to be a rhythm, and it really doesn't matter what kind of music you listen to. I like breakbeat music because I used to play a lot of this, right? It doesn't matter what you listen to. Okay, my Qigong classes and the KAMOTiON QiGOng Mastery Commune, I use a combination of stuff. Sometimes we use slow, like meditation music, Tibetan bowls and stuff, right? It all depends on what you want because, like I said, you don't use a hammer if you need a screwdriver. So you need to know what state you want. Okay, so there are practices which help you get relaxed. There are practices which help you get energized. You need both. Okay, I always say to people, don't just have daily practices that are yin state, which just get you relaxed, right? Have some practices which get you going as well, get you energized, right? Sometimes that can just be as simple as changing the rhythm and the pace of the breath. Like breathe more slowly to activate the parasympathetic nervous system. Okay, so slow it down. It's not even about quantity, it's about quality. You do one breath properly and really control the rhythm and the pace, it'll be enough to get relaxed. Okay? Most of the techniques that I teach in KAMOTiON QiGOng are 10 to 20 breaths. 20 is the maximum. We do more sets if needed be, okay? Just like in a gym exercise, okay? You do sets. So the KAMOTiON QiGOng is set up like that. So all the techniques are done in sets, usually 10 to 20 repetitions, 2 or 3 sets. That's it, okay? So they don't take long. And that's why they are practical. That's why you can do them when you need them, but the toolbox is there. That's the way it's got to be. Like most people don't do what they meant to do because it's too complicated, or it takes too long. So, don't try to make massive changes if you're not doing anything at all, like for development in terms of your mentality and your physical health, right? Your spiritual awareness. If you're not doing anything, just start with simple stuff. Go for a walk. Go for a 30-minute walk in nature. Like that would be a meditation, right? If you're suffering from depression, I talk to people with depression and anxiety. They don't need 10 different things to do tomorrow. They find it hard enough to get out of fucking bed. I've been there. I know what it's like. Okay? They just need to first learn how to wake up. Okay? Don't give them 10 things to do. Okay? So everyone's different, right? So work out where you are, right? Because not everything applies to you where you are right now. Okay, this is something that you have to realize. Like, You know, some people are at different stages in their journey, right? You know, there was a time where I wasn't doing all the stuff I do. I wasn't doing a cold shower every day. I wasn't going for a walk in nature every day. I wasn't doing it. But you know what? Life teaches you. You know, as I said before, truth is higher still is truthful living. I am learning that more and more, and now understand why my dad put that on the back of that book. I read that 30 years ago. It didn't make sense to me. Now it makes sense because I know a lot of fucking truth. But if I'm not living it, it's fucking useless, right? So this is why the practice is more important than anything else. You can know stuff, but it's just information if you don't use it. It's wasted information. You might as well not know it if you're not going to put it into action. So, you know, do the stuff, right? So, you know, KAMOTiON QiGOng, I say, is a lifestyle, right? We do the classes every Tuesday, Thursday. That keeps people accountable, disciplined. They keep learning new techniques, so it's exciting and enjoyable. They're always filling their mind with new knowledge and wisdom because I'll always change it up. Sometimes bring yogic philosophy into it, hermetic principles, neuro-linguistic programming, timeline therapy, Qigong. You know, Qigong is always the underlying foundation behind it because that is what is KAMOTiON QiGOng. But what does Qigong mean? Qi is life force energy. Gong means to master it. Master the skill of working with it. Well, everything is energy. You're mastering fucking everything because everything is energy. So if you're doing Qigong, you're learning how to master everything. Mind, body, spirit. So that's why it's quite vast, the KAMOTiON QiGOng system. Thanks, Mel. Yeah, lovely to have you there. You know, you've been there right from the beginning, so you know exactly what it's all about. Good stuff. All right, well, everyone, thank you very much for joining in. So, move, man, dance. Like, just get some music on, right? Get some music on. Let's listen to some music before we go. Just, like, but don't just listen to it. Like, feel it, right? And when I was a DJ, you know, it's just get into the beat. Some people say to me, like, how do you, I move like this all the time. I walk down the fucking street like this. There's a rhythm, man. I'm always flowing. I'm always waving. I'm always moving like this. I talk like this. I talk like I dance. I walk like I dance because everything is a fucking dance. Life is a dance, man. So let's breathe. Don't tell me that'll make you feel good, man. It's so simple. Music will heal your soul, man. Just listen to it. Just vibe. Alright. That one's called Rag of Fire, by the way, if anyone wants to get it on Spotify. It's got to be fun. It's got to be enjoyable. I can't stress this enough. Like, if you don't enjoy doing something, you're not going to want to do it. And nobody wants to do stuff they don't enjoy doing. So it has to be enjoyable. So put your spin on it, whether it is meditation, breathing, okay, KAMOTiON QiGOng, put your spin on it so that it becomes yours, so that it becomes much more enjoyable when you're going to want to do it. Okay, that's the most important thing. All right, much love, everyone. Take care.